Hello. Oh, well, listen, I'd just like to welcome you this evening, Robbie. I understand you're running for the Liberal Democrats, and I noticed you're also the representative for mining and pastoral industries. And I was just wondering, does that mean you're running for the Western Australian Upper House or for the Lower House there?
Correct. That's the upper house. So that's probably the largest I would assume. Runs from Nuclear right through the Kimberley, Pilbara, Goldfields.
Right. Yeah, because like I say, I was just a little bit confused, so I thought I'd best just clarify for everybody that so it is the upper house, so you'll be a colleague of Aaron once you're elected. Maybe you could just tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a geologist by profession.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm an exploration geologist. I'm based in the Goldfields, in the heart of mining and pastoral. Been doing that for a number of years. I've run my own mining companies and currently as an employee, but long time as a geologist, gold exploration.
And brilliant. And obviously, your portfolio of mining, obviously, it's very, very important to, sort of the national economy. Have you any specific measures that you'd like to see put in place to assist the mining industry?
Yeah, so Liberal Democrats are planning on putting together a working committee to streamline native title. We've got to a point in Western Australia, and it's similar in all the states now, whereby you can have some free ground and you can peg an exploration lease or prospecting lease, and you might be waiting a year, two, before you can even set foot on the ground, let alone do any meaningful activity. Yeah. So we're planning on having a working committee with the elders, so we can hopefully have these things resolved within 3 months, and companies can get out there and start exploring, because this is the lifeblood of certainly our region and our state overall.
Absolutely. Sort of one or two of my members of the End of Lockdown group have also asked, there's a perception, mining companies are large, wealthy conglomerates. What do you actually plan to do for the ordinary, I know you can't say bloke on the street anymore, so it's got to be the person on the street. What's your sort of position there?
Yes, you've got to cover all bases. Yeah, look. With mining, people do think about big mining companies, especially people who are in the cities away from who don't see the industry day to day. But look, the lifeblood of exploration, in particular in this state and other states in Australia, is the small exploration companies, and they'll have 10 or 20 employees, sometimes less, and even prospectors work in teams of 1 or 2. And it's these people who really get tied up in the red tape. The big companies, they'll have liaison groups, and they'll have officers who work full time, and they can manage these the paperwork. But the small companies, it's just too onerous. A 2-day heritage survey, which is kind of the minimum now with native title, it'll cost $30,000 for a small prospector. That's just not feasible. Some of these guys are battling away, making less than a full-time wage.
Oh, good. Yeah, look, I lived in Darwin, and I had plenty of mates who were, sort of gold prospectors, and they come back to the pub every 6 weeks, and they were either desolate or exuberant. And and 6 weeks later, they'd be in the same position regardless. And then look, I mean,
that's right. It's a lot of the. Sorry, just quickly, I was going to say, there's a lot of those people who they're happy to risk their money and put it up there with the small chance of finding a major deposit and making it big. Most don't, and they're happy to wear that risk. But what they're not happy to wear is
the bureaucracy.
Red tape. Yeah, bureaucracy and just outgoings all the time. And the people who implement it on both sides. So the Aboriginal elders are represented by lawyers in the city. So they're not looked after, and then the prospectors and exploration companies, even the company with a $10 or $20 million market cap, sounds like a lot, but they're often running very tight budgets, and they just can't operate in conditions.
Yeah, and then obviously the $64,000 question, which a lot of members would be asking, would be, you know, sort of traditionally the National Party has been, you know, part of your portfolio is agriculture and the pastoral industry. And obviously, you know, historically the National Party has been regarded as the farmers' party. Why would they want to vote Liberal Democrat as opposed to the National Party?
Well, the National Party, like all the major parties in Australia now, the National Party's beholden to interest groups, and it's certainly in pastoral. They've never really been looking after the pastoralists, but in the agriculture region they did traditionally. But it comes down to that same question, whether it's city or country.
Yeah.
Often they'll an electorate make promises, but you're promising things with other people's money, and it's quite easy, and it's not right, and it's not fair for people in the city to pay for things in country areas, as it's not right for people in the regions to be paying for things in the city that have no relevance to their lives.
Wonderful.
And the more we can just get out of our lives, like there is a role for government. There's certainly a role in education, health, and roads, but that's about it. And after that, you should let the people and the economy run themselves, and they do it just fine. And whatever government does, it tends to do quite poorly. And we should try and move away from that. And Nationals have followed the Liberals, unfortunately, into a mentality, and I think that's where the Liberal Democrats can create a point of difference.
Absolutely. Listen, I know we've both had a very, very long days. I think you've been driving all over the middle of nowhere for the last day or so, and I can assure you I've had a pretty long day as well. So listen, I'd just like to thank you for your time tonight and wish you the absolute best of luck in the election. We'll post this. I know some of our members have expressed an interest in contributing to the campaign, so if we can put a link there where they can maybe donate a small amount of money to, because I know a lot of it's self-funding, and also links to you know, how to vote cards. That would certainly be awfully helpful. So listen, thank you very much for your time, Robbie.
And thank you, Tim. And I urge anyone out there, get behind the Liberal Democrats. Have a look at we're about freedom of choice and freedom of association. So I urge you to look at our site, have a look at what we're about. I'm not just going to tell you to vote here. So get in there, understand what we're about, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
No worries. Listen, thanks very much for your time. Cheers.
Thanks, Tim. See you.